What's going on, guys? I know it's been a while since I last posted, probably about a couple months now. And in today's video, I don't usually get as personal as I'm going to get today in this video. Let me start from just like the beginning, right? So I had a best friend. His name was Andy. The way that I met him was through a restaurant that my mom actually owns from where we live locally. And he just basically started working there one day. He was just serving. And he came basically to the dish pit because I was washing dishes at the time. And he said, "Oh, hey, my name's Andy." I was like, "Oh, like the kid from Toy Story, you know?" Just making a joke. And little did I know, meeting him was like, he was going to become like a big part of my life, you know? Later on, he ended up dating my sister, actually. And one day we were over at his house. My sister was like talking to him or whatever. And he had like a jar full of mushrooms and like a jar full of weed. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And I thought he was so awesome and just so cool. And I just wanted to hang out with this guy forever. And clearly, like, that way of thinking just shows like how young I was at the time. I was a teenager. I was impressionable by like substances because it's cool, quote unquote. He ended up leaving the restaurant, but then he came back, and once he came back again, me and him became a lot closer. So the place that he lived at the time, that was his grandma's house, and then she had a house next to it that he lived in. And he got kicked out of that house. So when he got kicked out, he was looking for a place, and he found this place, and it was really close to where we lived, or where I lived, and where, you know, he used to live at the time. And he was basically just renting one of the rooms. There was 3 rooms. The person that owned it lived downstairs, and then there's 2 rooms upstairs. He had one, and then me and him started hanging out a lot, and I didn't need to at the time, but I wanted to, and so I moved into the other room right across from him. And we were best friends. He was somebody that I've been close to a lot of people, but I've never gotten this close before. He was my best friend and probably the closest thing I've ever had to an older brother, honestly. And I've never had that. I've only had sisters. When I lived with him and when we knew each other, I smoked nicotine a lot, and I had recently quit. Honestly, I quit about 2 or so months ago. But he would always buy me cigarettes, and it's because I wasn't able to buy them myself. I wasn't old enough at the time. I was a teenager, you know, a couple years off. So he would buy them for me, and he was drinking a lot. He was really into drinking. Drinking was like his favorite vice, honestly. Like how mine is smoking weed. His was drinking alcohol and smoking weed. And I spent a lot of time with him, and I got to know him super well. And he had a dad that had passed away, and he would never really talk about him. The only time he talked about his dad was really just like to me. Well, anyways, enough of the rambling about who Andy is and how I met him. With this video, I wanted to just talk about my best friend, and I wanted to tell you guys what happened. And before I get into what happened, I wanted to spark a cigarette, just for old sakes, for, you know, in honor of Andy, in honor of my best friend. So yeah, cheers. It looks like it's a little wet, but it dried up. Cheers, guys. He used to smoke Senecas like all the time, like all the time. Seneca was his favorite cigarette. I just happen to have his favorite cigarette. So as we're talking about him, I just wanted to smoke a cigarette while we're reminiscing here. I did tell you guys I quit like nicotine. The only time that I really have anything is I'll have a cigarette, one cigarette, maybe every couple months. I genuinely, I quit nicotine, so cheers. So, Andy was like a bigger brother to me, you know? He would give me like a lot of advice, and I would listen to a lot of stuff like that he told me. And I did look up to him, even though he didn't do the best things for or to himself, you know? He clearly, he had really bad depression. He wasn't very open about it, and I didn't realize it. And one day, we're hanging out, and he tells me how he's been getting sick and feeling a pain in his stomach when he drinks and smokes. How his liver, his kidney, somewhere around his stomach would get very tight, and it would be very uncomfortable, and he would vomit and feel nauseous. And it slowly got worse. But obviously, like I said, he keeps to himself. He didn't really talk about it all the time, you know? So he tried to quit, and one day, you know, it's normal to see him with a beer in his hand. It's normal to like see him drinking. So one day, I'm hanging out with my girlfriend in the room that I'm renting at the time, and I'm hanging out with 2 other friends. And Andy comes in the room, and he's clearly drunk, like extremely drunk. And he took my girlfriend's necklace. He always kind of just messed with her, not in a flirting way, kind of like he just picked on her. You know, that's just how he interacted with her, you know? And it was nothing weird, you know? I always trusted Andy. But he took her necklace, and he was refusing to give it back. He was like lying, saying, oh, I threw it out the window or something. And at the time, I didn't realize what he was doing. But what he was doing was like pushing me away, or pushing my girlfriend away, pushing us away. He was pushing as much as he could. And after that day, he went on a trip for about a week or 2 with his family. They did this trip every year, he told me. And when he went on the trip, he passed by the bridge that his dad unalived himself on. And it caused Andy a lot of distress. It was really difficult for him. And then also with his health problems, he wasn't doing good. And none of us realized it because he wasn't very open about that stuff, about his feelings or how he was doing. He was the kind of guy that told me, like, a man doesn't cry in front of his woman, you know? That's being too vulnerable, which I don't personally agree with. I think it's okay to be emotional and to be vulnerable. If you're gonna be with someone and marry them and have kids with them for the rest of your life, you should be able to be vulnerable with that person. That is the person that you are supposed to have the most intimate moments with. And that's why I think that you should be able to be emotional to the person that you're with, whether it's a woman or a man. Who knows? Really, who cares at the end of the day? That's all you. Anyways. Whew. Man, I really, when you quit nicotine and then you get some nicotine in your system, oh man, it hits. It really gives you that buzz. That's one thing I miss is the buzz, but when I was doing it, never got buzzed. It was pointless, really. But he came back on his trip, and he didn't talk to any of us. He didn't talk to me. He would always, without knocking, he would just walk into my room, sit down, bong in hand, and we would just start talking about whatever that was on his mind or my mind, and yeah. And he didn't do that. He avoided me, it felt like. And the last time I saw him, I was at the house. I washed my hair in the bathroom. I left for work, and I looked out the window. And from the window of the bathroom, you can look down, and you can see the backyard, right? And he was sitting there, smoking a cigar or something, and drinking a whole bottle of 1800 tequila. He was not having a good day. Him and his girl, he had a girlfriend at the time, they had fought. And after they fought, she left. But his girlfriend told Andy's mom that she was worried for him and that she just wanted her to check on him to make sure that he's okay. And when his mom checked on him, he was slouched on the floor in front of his bed. She thought he was vomiting, but he unalived himself with a... I mean, you don't need to know the details. But yeah, he unalived himself with his pistol. It's probably the most graphic I'll get about that. And so that's why I've been gone for a couple of months now, and I haven't uploaded since my last upload. I enjoy making videos. I enjoy being creative. I enjoy making music. I enjoy just talking. Who doesn't like talking, right? But I had to take a break after my best friend passed away. It's been really hard, but life goes on. The world keeps on spinning, you know? But I like to think that time stopped for him that day, you know? Yeah. And in lieu of talking about my best friend unaliving himself, I also just wanted to talk about, and to remind you guys, that your friends are important, you know? Everybody in your life is important, and you should never neglect the fact to check on somebody or even think about if they're not okay, you know? Because so many times I imagine if I just went back in time and I recognized that there's something up with him, maybe I could have saved his life. But in all truth, that probably wouldn't have done anything. It would have just prolonged it, I assume. But I didn't know how he was doing or what was going on or how depressed he might have been, because he never talked to anybody about it. And I want that to just be a reminder for you guys too, that it's okay. It's okay to talk about whatever's wrong. It's okay to be open, because why not? We're on a rock spinning in space, and we live on it. And that's it, you know? Maybe there's heaven, maybe there's hell. That's not what this video is about. What it's about is just appreciating those that's around you in your own life and taking care of yourself, because I love Andy, but he did not take care of himself whatsoever. And yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to make a tribute video for my best friend. I love him and I miss him very much. And I love you guys and every one of you that might be watching this video right now. I'll be back at making content like today. I kind of I take time to myself and then I come to and I make a video. So here I am. All right, well, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a good night. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Women want attention. Attention is time. Time, unfortunately, is money. It's the unfortunate situation of the world.